Let's talk about 6 keys to making money with email. So here's the thing about email. Email really should be the most profitable communication means that you have in your arsenal. Yet for many people, it's not. Well, a lot of that is because they don't follow these 6 keys, which will help you sell more with to your email. So the first thing to recognize when you're selling via email is the more selling emails you send, the less money you're going to make. That sounds counterproductive. Shouldn't it be the more sales emails you send, the more you'll make? No, because what ends up happening is that you need to abide by the first key of selling more in email, and that is to maintain a good content versus sales ratio. So here's what happens, especially for e-commerce companies and newbies, is all they ever do is send out sales emails. Hey, here's this next sale, buy this thing, buy this thing, buy this thing. And pretty soon people say, hey, every time I get an email from them, they just want to sell me something. I'm not interested. And so they opt out or they mark them as a spammer. And that hurts you big time. My recommendation for the maximum percentage of emails that go out from you that are sales emails is 30%. So in other words, 70% of all the emails you send out are content, 30% of them are sales. And that's the maximum. More likely, I'd like to see that 80-20. So about 20% of your emails going out are selling something or moving people towards an offer. The vast majority of your emails should be content. So what's content? Content is something that will help them. Ideally, something that is related to what you sell. And so it's, all right, so let me give you an example of this. I have a former client who sends out a lot of recipes to her business clients. And that's great, but I'd argue that maybe recipes aren't the best content that this person should be sending out to these people because, they can get recipes from a lot of places. What they really want to know is how to do better what it is that she does. And she's got some amazing content. And I invite you to focus in on what is it that your products and the things that you do for people in their lives, and give them more information that helps them achieve that transformation in their lives. Give them great content that helps to do that. And by the way, another interesting thing is the more valuable the content that you send out, the better you'll sell. Why is that? Because the more valuable the content you send out, the more people open and read every email that you send out. Consequently, when you then send out a sales email, they're going to open it and read it. And they might just be interested enough to click and go buy. All right. The second key to selling using emails is to format your emails to be read. What do you mean by that? Well, here's the thing. Nobody wants to work to read email. And so consequently, you need to make it very easy for your email to be read. So among other things, you should be writing in short, punchy sentences. None of this war and peace kind of sentences where a sentence can go on for a whole paragraph as you describe, this much stuff, 10 lines of stuff with these things move around in sentences, and you got to pay attention to this thing, academic kind of style. Okay. Short, punchy sentences. Some of them start with and but, and or, and yet, and those kinds of things. Your English teacher should roll over in the grave when she reads your emails. Okay. Most paragraphs, again, another English teacher rolling over in her grave. Most paragraphs are 1 sentence long. Why? Because the more dense the copy, the less people want to read. The more opening up and simply doing one sentence per paragraph. And yes, you're violating the rules of paragraphs. That everything about that subject should be together in a paragraph. No, you break it up like that. And so it's really easy. You look at it and you go, this is inviting. You look at text like this and you go, this is not inviting. And consequently, you don't read it. Consequently, very quickly, they stop opening it, and very quickly you end up in their spam folder, and very quickly none of your emails are getting through to anyone. And then next, write like you would write to a friend. So it should be chatty. It should be no logo on this thing. It probably is going to be black text on white background. And by the way, that text should probably not be really small. I like to set mine like at 14 point. I know that sounds really big, but what ends up happening is it makes it really easy to read, especially on cell phones. Sometimes add a picture or a meme, or maybe even a picture of a video with the little play button where when they click it, sends them out to a web page that's got that video on it, and so they can watch it there. They should be fairly short, around 500-ish words. So these emails that go on and they're a tome and they're like 45 lines long of all this stuff, that's not the way you write to a friend. And they rarely get read. And when you send out a lot of those, unless you're an incredibly profound person, most people will end up stop reading them over time. Then as you structure them, you actually don't finish, most of the time you don't finish everything in that email. I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. And so you link out for them to get more context, more content, or to finish the story. So that's this point. Point number 3, use email to set the hook. Use a web page to deliver the rest of the story. So what in the world's a hook? A hook is the thing that makes you interested. It's so when you watch, let's say when you go on Netflix and you get that little thing that plays that little preview for, 30, 45 seconds, that at the end of that you go, I want to watch that. That's the hook. They just set the hook on you. They just took something out of probably 10 hours worth of episodes and took 30 seconds of it and gave it to you, designed specifically for you to go, I want to watch that. That's what you're trying to do in your emails. What you do is you give them a little bit and then a link out to a web page that tells them the rest of the stories. So realize that most emails are read on a phone. And so they don't want to sit there and they're not paying a lot of attention. They're reading it while they're maybe watching that Netflix series, or they're reading it while they're standing in line. They're reading it. It's not, people rarely have devoted email reading time now. Email squeezes in between other activities that are important in their lives. And so this is, again, the reason why you don't write big, thick content that's hard, that takes work to understand. It's the reason why you don't write really long content. You write a few words, enough to set the hook, enough to get them interested, and then you link out to the rest of the story. They click on that if they want to, and they go and they get the rest of what it is you're trying to communicate. Oftentimes, by the way, remember when I said emails are read on a phone in a non-email reading environment? They click, they leave it open in their browser, and then the next time they open their browser, it's like, oh yeah, I wanted to read this. Then they read that whole thing. And a lot of conversion these days actually happens from that process. That's how you sell more. And by the way, while we're in the process of writing these short things, one of the best things that works in the Netflix, as well as in email, as well as in Dickens novels and Tom Clancy novels, is a cliffhanger. This is what keeps me up until 3 o'clock in the morning reading something, because I love to read at night, and I can't end Ken Follett or Tom Clancy because every chapter ends with a cliffhanger, and I have to know what just happened. And so I keep reading, I keep going on. Same thing happens to your email. You give them a short introductory section that ends with a cliffhanger. We are naturally inclined to close the loop. We've got to click to go find out what the rest of that story is. Figure out how to use cliffhangers in your business, and you will sell a lot more. Okay. Number 4, clean your list. I know this isn't talking about structure of email, but it's probably even more important. And here's the thing. Everyone who is not opening your emails counts against your email deliverability score. And the lower that score gets, the fewer of your emails actually arrive in the inbox of the people who actually want to read them. And so if you got a bunch of people who aren't reading them, then the people who want to read them don't even get them to have a chance to read them. So, and here's the thing, that happens even when it's the email program's fault. So I love the fact that Gmail puts emails into the promotions tab or the spam tab or the other tab, so it's not showing up in the main thing, and then they blame us for our emails not getting opened. But you know what? They're the ones that make the rules. And the part of their rules say every email that doesn't get opened hurts you. And so what you need to do is you need to clean your list. First off, write really interesting emails, and so people are actually wanting to open them. But secondly, remove everyone who is not opening your emails every 90 days. What? Yes, every 90 days. Anyone who's not opened your emails in that period of time, you then take them off your list. Actually, ideally, you run them through what we call a reactivation sequence first, where you give them several really cool emails that are non-salesy, that invite them to do things that then cause them to now start opening your emails and increases your relationship with them so that they are no longer not opening your emails. And so they start counting towards you as opposed to against you. Everyone else who doesn't respond to you in that reactivation sequence, you remove from your email list. Yes, you remove from your email list. Okay, number 5. When you do sell, give people an option not to receive that set of promotional emails. All right, so let's think about this. Let's say you are going to have a Black Friday sale. And so for the week before Black Friday, you send them an email every day that says, hey, watch for this Black Friday sale. It's going to be amazing. And here's something that's going to be on sale on that. And you send them like 3 to 5 emails in that period coming up to the Black Friday sale, and then maybe 3 or 4 more Black Friday through Cyber Monday. All right, that's great. But the people who are not interested in that, you should do this. You should say, not interested in learning about my Black Friday sale? Click here to not receive any more info on it. Now, this is not an opt-out. What this does is it's something that you're controlling, not your email provider controlling. So it's not down in the footer that allows people to report you for spam or opt out. This is something you put up higher in there that says, hey, you're not interested in this promo. So oftentimes we use this when we're doing a launch or when we're promoting somebody else's webinar or somebody else's affiliate program or something like that. Hey, not interested in knowing about XYZ product? That's fine. Just click here and I won't send you any more emails on it. What you do then is you set a tag in your email program. This is why you absolutely have to have a tag-driven email program. And you set a tag for that promotion, and that promotion says, don't mail this, that tag says, don't mail this promotion. Then every time you send out something about that promotion, you look for that tag and exclude those people from receiving them. So it's an exclusionary tag, not an inclusionary tag. So anyone who has that tag, you don't send them future promotional emails on that particular subject. Now, by the way, while we're on the subject of opting out, some people use programs, they have like an internal email delivery system. And when people actually opt out of your email, they actually click the thing that says, I no longer want to receive any emails from you, you must not mail them again. Don't send them a second chance email. Oh, we apologize. Maybe we'll send you less. Or you must not send them. By the way, there are legal responsibilities in many countries that require you not to send them, that can get you sued big time if you do. 6th point, last point, mail them frequently. Wait a minute. Yes, mail them frequently. Here's what ends up happening. If you don't mail them at least once a week, what ends up happening is they forget who you are. And so then when you actually send them a sales email, they say, I don't know who this person is, and they hit the spam button. And the spam button is the kiss of death. It really hurts you from an email deliverability score. And so you get really hurt here. So the whole principle of this whole concept of selling via email is that you want to create it's a symbiotic relationship where you both help each other. Basically what they say is, I'm willing to put up with your sales emails as long as you send me great content that I'm interested in, that really helps me. And that you give me a good experience in that process. Short sentences. It sounds like chatty. You hook me and then send me to someplace else. You make it a good experience for me. If you make it bad, you make me work, you make me see sales emails all the time, man, you just broke that symbiotic relationship. You're not helping me, and so I'm not about to continue to help you. So respect my wishes as a recipient. And when you do that, then I'm going to respond appropriately and allow you to send me sales materials. Do these 6 things, you'll sell more. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the chat. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.